Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, back with his good friend Dion from Dion Talk. How you doing, buddy?
Howdy, doing great. I'm excited about this topic because I actually want to hear what you're going to say.
There you go. Well, I read a quote this morning, and I knew you and I were talking later. I'm like, this is one for Dion, and I'll read the quote and talk about why I think it's important for us to debate. And here it is: Life is not fair. Be your own hero. And the reason I thought this would be interesting for you is because A, you served in the military. Again, I would argue military service is a hero. You were a police officer or a cop, helping people on their worst day. So there's lots of things, that would kind of point at Dion being a hero, at least in my book. But when you think about this, again, life is not fair. Be your own hero. How does that hit? How does that feel?
So for me, while we can equate it to law enforcement and military, it comes down to a really simple concept of a lot of people think they're never going to be rich or they're never going to be financially free because that's for someone else. Like someone else timed it right. Someone else picked the lucky stock. If you find a simple, repeatable process to reach financial freedom, there are people who are choosing to be middle class and choosing to be poor. And then they look at the person who's financially free almost on like a pedestal, kind of like a hero status, thinking, I wish I could do that. Instead of thinking, what simple things can I do to make that happen? And life isn't fair. It isn't just going to hand it to you. The Millionaire Next Door book study showed that 88% of millionaires were self-made. So 12% inherited something. So there are people who do that. But 88% did it on their own, became their own hero, and made it to where they can do whatever they want with their life and they don't have to focus on the money. And to me, that's kind of the easiest way to be your own hero is to give yourself those options. Think about your kids growing up, watching your struggle. And if you're just climbing the corporate ladder and saving for retirement, and they think that's the only option, you're setting them up for that. If you're not even exploring the other paths like investing for financial freedom so that you can do a job that you love instead of a job you have to do for money, I think you're going to impact the people around you by setting the example.
Yeah, so sometimes when I read quotes, I feel them. This was one of those quotes, right? Life is not fair. Nobody would argue that. Be your own hero. And this is just something I've lived with my whole life, right? My youth was not fun. None of it was fun. And I learned very early on that if anything good was going to happen, that I had to make the choices, or at least that's how I felt. That's how my internal clock was kind of wired. Is if it's going to be good, I got to make it happen. Now, other stuff happened. I'm not trying to poo-poo that, but that's just how I've been wired from very, very early age. Is like, it's on you, buddy. Life's not fair. Food's not in the fridge. You can't do this. You can't do that because there's nothing around. Just go. If you want it, go. And I think that's probably what's wired in my daily discipline. Because again, I know how to work. I know how to get committed. It's now I appreciate it as a superpower. But that also comes with a downside, right? It's sometimes I don't look up. One thing I've admitted many times is I don't dream big. I don't have that thing, that's out there. I worry about the next step and then the next step and then the next step. But yeah, I'm very comfortable with the idea that life is not fair. But this be your own hero, I just work. It's just that feels uncomfortable to me. But sometimes you've got to feel something to kind of challenge yourself. So it's an interesting quote.
I think it's something that people can think of when we hear the quote, money is the root of all evil.
Mm-hmm.
They forget the beginning. The love of money is the root of all evil. Right. And what odds do you think people are going to have the chance of becoming financially free if, when they think of somebody who's financially free, they don't have respect for them? They think they cheated the system. They think of income for the world as a pie. And if you take a bigger piece of the pie, there's less for everyone else, instead of thinking of it as a conveyor belt. And that as you take yours off, there's always more coming by and there's plenty for everybody. If you don't like people who have money because they have money, there are people we don't like who have money. There are people we don't like who don't have money.
Yeah.
You're not going to pursue financial freedom and with the same chance of success if you don't think that achieving that is a good thing. So we have to kind of mentally get our mind wrapped around, we would be our own hero if we could pull off financial freedom. Because what is it you want to do? Is it you want to help people? You want to spend more time with your kids? You don't want to become a burden to your kids as you get older? Whatever that thing is that you're trying to do, it's going to be a lot easier to do if you have the options that come from reaching financial freedom.
Yeah, and if we tie together all 3 videos that we did today, kind of on message, they're all really the same thing. It's out there. You and I have proved it. You know, the 15 conversations in my second book, which again, you thankfully read for Audible. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's a repeatable process. It's not even that hard. You get uncomfortable for a little while, you sacrifice for a little while, and you can have these amazing things. You can have more time with kids. You can stop working at 45. You can donate, you can write big checks to charities. You can really help people in bad situations. But you've got to decide. For me, it's I guess it's decision and commitment. Maybe it's commitment that I've not appreciated. That again is my superpower. So I skip over it. Being committed and sticking to it. Maybe that's the missing piece for folks. Because again, it's easy to decide to lose weight, but by the 4th day when pizza shows up at work, it's like, it's cheat day. Well, then suddenly the next day's cheat day too, and it's all gone.
I look forward to your first audiobook coming out again here pretty soon. I've got that started, so that should be finished. I would say within less than a month, should be finished.
Nice. Again, what did he just say, folks? He is going to read 1 rental at a time. He's already done 15 conversations. He is reading 1 rental at a time, and we're going to do what we can to swap out the audio and see what our options are. But it's going to be really cool.
So let me know in the comments down below if you think that's a good thing, or am I just wasting my time?
You're going to get a lot of comments. Folks, encourage Dion. Encourage Dion. Thank him, thank him, thank him. Dion, where can people find you?
Right here on YouTube, Dion Talk Financial Freedom.
Awesome. Thanks, buddy.
Ciao.